Universal Studios Florida, the magic of movies. Scene 1, take 1.
Ooh. Action!
Thank you! Hey!
Cut! You have not seen anything yet. Stand by.
Fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating.
This Universal Studios Florida is really extraordinary.
I thought it was exciting. I thought it was fun.
I've been with Universal since 1927, and to see something like this grow out of a little studio like I saw when I first went there, it's just fabulous.
The year 1990 was truly a milestone for Universal. The great Hollywood studio celebrated its 75th anniversary. And 21 years after its conception by Jay Stein, chairman of the board of the MCA Recreation Services Group, Universal Studios opened its gates here in Orlando. On June 7th, motion picture history was made. Internationally known stars and the most famous people in the film industry arrived to dedicate the movie and television capital of the East. Conducting the ribbon-cutting ceremony were Jay Stein and Steven Spielberg.
The greatest talents in film and television production have collaborated with the finest designers and technical specialists from the world over so that fans can share in the excitement and drama of the movies. Steven, together we will officially open Universal Studios Florida. In a traditional fashion, but uncommon approach, we have devised a special film strip ribbon for you to cut. Here are your scissors.
I hope this cuts. This is a lot thicker than what we rehearsed with.
As we walk along the streets, surrounded by full-scale recreations of scenes from the most famous movies ever made, you know that you're in the most lavish, exciting production ever conceived. The realism of the surroundings intensifies the thrill of each experience when you ride the movies and live the most unforgettable scenes from blockbuster hits. You will see, hear, and feel the fun and adventure going behind the scenes, being on camera and in moviedom. And now we'll see you in the movies. We all grew up with the movies. Generations of us sat in darkened movie palaces, entranced by the flickering images on the screen. Our imaginations and emotions were as instantly gratified by the stories they told as our bodies were by the popcorn and soft drinks we held in our hands. Universal Studios Florida, the largest motion picture and television production studio outside of Hollywood, is the culmination of this century's technological and imaginative genius. The magic that is sensed on the movie set streets and experienced in the enormous sound stages goes far beyond the fantasies of moviegoers, and indeed, that of the man with whom it all began. In 1891, when Thomas Edison filed for patents covering a kinetograph camera and a kinetoscope viewer, he didn't realize that he was generating a great American dream culture. He thought of it as a kind of toy. But the kinetoscope was a curious novelty in the penny arcades. The customer inserted his nickel into the slot, peered eagerly through a peephole, and saw the wonder of moving figures against a dim background. The experiments of other inventors transferred the projection of moving images to a white curtain in a darkened room. These little establishments became known as Nickelodeons. By the end of the century's first decade, 10,000 theaters were attracting audiences of 10 million weekly. The success of these operations attracted the attention of Carl Laemmle, an ex-dry goods merchant, an astute businessman. He opened his own theater, expanded into film exchange, and then established his own production company under the name of IMP, the Independent Motion Picture Company. 1912 was a historic year for Carl Laemmle. 6 men were gathered in his small office. A merger of film distribution and production businesses was underway. Standing at the window, he watched as a Universal Piping Company wagon passes in the street below. And turning from the window, he announced, "Gentlemen, let's call ourselves Universal, for this merger makes us the biggest film manufacturing company in the universe." The signing took place in New York on June 2nd, 1912. The company that became Universal Pictures was born. And as a leading producer and distributor, Universal has made cinematic history for 75 years. But only here will you experience Hollywood as you have never dreamed it before. E.T., Ghostbusters, King Kong, Earthquake, Jaws, Back to the Future. They began as movies. Well, now they are part of the fun, thrill, and adventure of the motion picture magic at Universal Studios, Florida. I'm John Forsythe. Let's take a closer look.